Avengers?
The Lesbian Adventures? Avengers.
Sounds very exciting, though, you know.
Lesbians? I don't know.
Lesbians? Yes, I suppose. I don't really know. What is that, a musical group? Just a group of people?
I joined the Avengers in the month of October in the year of 1992.
So I was before you then. I'm an older Avenger in more ways than one.
Answer the question.
I became a lesbian Avenger because I got a flyer about it at Gay and Lesbian Pride last summer, and I went to the very first meeting, mostly because of the name. I thought it was a great name, and I'd never been part of a group that was just lesbians before.
So yeah, I joined the Avengers, I guess, almost 2.5 months ago. Why? Because I'm a lesbian, I'm angry all the time. So in order not to be angry all the time, I'm an Avenger.
Now if I'm reading the paper and I see something that, you know, a lesbian issue staring me in the face, I know I have a place to go with it. And I know that I can do something about it.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I actually changed the night of my therapy so that I could go to Lesbian Avengers on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, I showed up at the meeting like right before the second dance, and so when I came to the meeting, they were talking about the dance.
You just joined a dance, right?
So
You're a lesbian Avenger dancer.
And I joined because of the issues. Fuck you. So that's why I joined. And to meet pretty girls.
Gotta check. Oh, that's the main reason why everybody joined.
Ladies and ladies, gentlemen and gentlemen, we are the Lesbian Avengers! Here to demand and ensure visibility and survival of lesbians everywhere! And now, a number we wrote for the first day of school. It's sort of a polka, lesbian polka, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 1.
That's weird. That is weird.
What makes it weird?
Teach about lesbians. What's that? Teach what? Kids?
Well, yeah, I mean, don't you think kids get taught about a lot of different things, right?
I think, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, you can teach kids. Gotta teach them about gays, too.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Where you going, all the way down?
Yeah, to Middle Village School, I think it's called.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Amazing what goes on, huh?
What do you think of it?
Everybody to each their own.
Hey, boy.
Stop that. More power to them.
Going to put you on the other side, right because this is a school ground, and it's the city property, but it's a school ground. You're going to
I'm passing out balloons to school children on the first day of school that say,
Move it! Give the balloon back and let it go. Give me that balloon. Let it go.
out today because I have really mixed feelings about this, especially as a teacher. I'm afraid that we're harassing the kids a little bit. But I came because what I've been reading in the papers and seeing about what Board 24 is doing is not just not doing in some kind of passive way, but taking on an active campaign of hate and intolerance. And I just can't stand to see that in another school.
I'm demonstrating here because I think children should learn about love, not about hate. I also think that the people who are against lesbians and gay men in the school curriculum have a larger agenda, which is racist, and is to get rid of the multicultural curriculum. And they're attacking us because we're easy to attack.
Jonathan, see you later.
Nobody ever knows what to do with us. No one is used to having a group of screaming lesbians descend upon them, or even seeing like women all together identifying themselves as lesbians, and it's amazing what we can get away with.
Plus, what I really like about it is that we're quite willing to embrace the stereotypes, you know? I mean, they call us child molesters, and it's like, well, you know, our response is that to say, you know, we recruit. We're not afraid of those things that are being thrown at us. On the contrary, it's sort of like, okay, well, let's look at this one. This one sounds kind of interesting. You know, what do I really think about this? I mean, when we went to do the school board and we were willing to go and give balloons to children that said, ask about lesbian lives, I mean, there were a lot of lesbians who were scared of that. It's like, children? We're going to deal with children? You know, these are like sacred cows for the lesbian community. And I think that a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is internalized homophobia. You know, lesbians, a lot of lesbians are very, you know, they're scared, and they have good reasons to be scared. There's a lot of issues out there, there's danger, but there's also the fact that on some level it's become safe for them to not be out in the streets. It's been safe for them to stay in the bars, in their relationships, wherever they are, but not to confront. And I think what we do is we're willing to be out there and say, listen, the homophobia is out there. We may as well like play with it a little bit, and we get a lot of results, I think, for that reason.
One night near this spot, in Greenwich Village where we think we're all safe, two lesbians, Heidi Darrow and Suzanne White, were beaten to the ground by a gang of kids simply for embracing each other. In Oregon, about a month ago, two people, a lesbian named Hattie Mae Cohens and a gay man named Brian Mock, were burned alive in their house. We Lesbian Avengers have built this shrine. It stands for our fear. It stands for our grief. It stands for our rage. And it enshrines our intention to live fully and completely as who we are, wherever we are.
We're everywhere!
We take the fire of action into our hearts, and we take it into our bodies, and we stand here and now to make it known that we are here and here we will stay. Our fear does not consume us. Their fire will not consume us. We take that fire and we make it our own.
We decided to erect a memorial to them centered around Halloween weekend, which is a very bad weekend of lesbian and gay bashing in New York City. And we just thought, well, we're going to be out there. And we spent the weekend out there, and it was a new experience for a lot of us. I think a lot of us got over whatever fears we had about confronting the unknown. By spending the weekend out on the street, a lot of us overcame that fear. Even though each action that we do is fraught with worry, if not danger, we always manage to come through it, you know, and we feel stronger and happier for it.
We really feel like we need to be visible and public all the time and really make a statement about how deeply this stuff affects our lives. Because we feel like a lot of people know about what's going on in Oregon, but they don't understand that this is something that we're totally committed to because our brothers and sisters are dying over there.
I know that for myself, I've never felt so proud of being a lesbian, and I've never been surrounded by so many incredibly strong and brave people. It's a unique thing. It's a frightening thing, too, to do a demonstration where you have signs all over the place saying you're a lesbian, you're a lesbian, you're a lesbian, you're walking around Queens, I'm a lesbian everywhere. And lesbian isn't even a word people are comfortable using.
We have not been visibly on the street as lesbians for at least 10 or 15 years. I would say 15. And I think that what it does when you see lesbians doing it is to make you want to do it. You know, you say to yourself, those people are me, and I could be doing this.
It's just so clear that there are a lot of issues lesbians need to address, but the primary one is visibility, because how can you address lesbian issues when people don't even know that there are lesbians? You know, how could I grow up in Kentucky and not know that there were lesbians?
Great. Can we ask you a question? No.
She didn't know anything about Lesbian Avengers, we promise.
Why did you stop me for the women to ask me a question like that? I don't know. I have no idea. I never heard of them before.
No, I have no idea at all. I'm just new here, so I'm not interested in that. Thank you.
Lesbian Avengers. Any idea what they might be about? Don't know a thing about them.
I'm sure. I'm not with them. I just met her. It's some violent feminist group. We better watch out. I'm going home to lock my doors.
stand in the face of such outrage as the firebombing deaths of 2 people in Oregon? Not close enough to home? What about the murders right here in New York City of Julio Rivera, Marsha Johnson, James Zappalardi, the constant and uninvestigated violence against lesbians on the streets of New York on any given day of night? What about the bigotry of local school boards and their refusal to even mention the existence of lesbians and gay men? We, lesbians and gay men, have no cheeks left to turn, so we will avenge the murders, the harassment, the bigotry, and the hate by any means we see fit. This is a promise, not a threat.
We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our own. Their fire will not consume us. We take it and make it our
I have to open a bank account for Lesbian Avengers. So I went off to Amalgamate and I filled out the forms. And of course the forms, you have to put the name on 37 times. And then the woman started looking over them and I could just see she was trying so hard not to react, but she was reacting like crazy. And then she had to call some guy up and ask him a question. So, you know, she was saying, "Hi Joe, I gotta ask you about that." And he always said, "What's the name?" And she said, "The Lesbian Avengers." And then there was this long silence, and she was again really struggling not to. And I thought, this is really incredible, you know, just 2 words. You know?
The bank. Just going to the bank.
And every time I go there and I make another deposit, and I've got all my little deposit slips with the Lesbian Avengers, and it's always a different teller. And I just look at them and I think, so what are you thinking? You know?
2, 4, 6, 8. Boycott the hate state. 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 2, 4, 6, 8. Boycott the hate state.
We are going to continue this tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m. at 59th and 5th.
We're basically planning on following this man around for 2 days, and there were, there were like 10 of us, to start. And we really met and we're just going to sort of pick it outside the hotel. And then, we're sitting like in this coffee shop and somebody said, well, why don't we go in? And we all sort of looked at each other and said, all right, and it was like, the sort of like spontaneousness of it and the guts. Because nobody, I think there was fear in all of us, but nobody said no. Nobody said, well, wait a minute, let's even think about this. Everybody said, all right, let's do it.
Boycott Colorado because the mayor of Denver is holding a press conference with the Village Voice. There he is at the stateroom. He's not going to get away with this in New York City.
This way. Thank you.
Please, ma'am, come this way. And I'm just talking to the camera. Okay, we're here in the lobby of the Plaza Hotel. Gracefully exiting after Disrupting the mayor of Colorado for the second consecutive day.
Well, I think the mayor's been made pretty nervous by a handful of lesbians, but I don't think he's nervous enough. I think he has to go back to Colorado and repeal this bloody amendment. It's okay for us to say we're not going to go ski there, but there are gay people, lesbians and gay men living there, and we want to try and make it safe for them.
My name is Phyllis, and I'm a lesbian avenger, a fierce lesbian avenger. And
very fierce. I want to say that too.
Very fierce lesbian avenger. And I've been having a blast the last 2 days, making the mayor of Denver miserable. He's here to promote tourism and trade, and as he said on national radio, all he could talk about is Amendment 2. That's all anybody's asking him, and that's exactly what we want. We want people to realize that this issue can't go away. It was passed, but we're not stopping until it's repealed.
And I must say, his limo driver has gotten quite fond of us. He just waved to us a second ago. And you see this police car, this empty police car? The cops who were supposed to be guarding the mayor, they were in the coffee shop having coffee while we were upstairs harassing the mayor. It was great.
When I heard about some of the people who went and met the mayor for breakfast and the impact they had, I was really jealous because a few people had such an enormous impact and had a ball when they did it, because there's enormous amounts of power of walking into a room and scaring the shit out of a lot of very powerful people who are completely men.
And because of us, he got on that radio show and all they asked him about was, his what happened in Colorado that the bill passed. So he didn't get to really do what he came here to do.
That made us feel powerful and strong, and it's clearly sent a message to him and to other people that we are not people to be messed with. And if 4 or 5 of us holding signs and yelling are that intimidating, the power of all of us across the country is just unimaginable.
We don't care if we make fools of ourselves. Only 5 people show up, so we'll have an action with 5 people. What can it hurt?
The Lesbian Avengers. Do they have costumes with like capes and stuff?
I guess they're like any superhero group, where they search out evil, and when they find it, they squash it, I guess. That's it.
They're protecting the lesbians.
Let's see, a Christopher Street superhero group?
It's a New York thing, right?
There we go.
What did you think of it? It was wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. That was the lovely Sandra Feldman, president of the UFT, who says she agrees with us but isn't quite as firm on asserting these values from the very beginning as we would like her to be. Nonetheless, I think we've got her on the record a little as agreeing with our values, and we just have to keep pressing that and get the teachers active. The point is to get the teachers active.
Thank you. I'm out here because it's invigorating to be in this cold, cold weather, handing flyers out to people. I'm here because I'm in support of the rainbow curriculum, because I believe that you need to sort of start to instill some form of tolerance into people as soon as possible, because after a certain point, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to do it. And here you go. Thank you very much.
People seem to have an easier time saying gay, or an easier time saying queer, or homosexual, and the word lesbian doesn't easily come to a lot of people. And the more we get it out, the better it is, and especially in terms of the rainbow curriculum, where one of the sacred cows that we're breaking is that we're coming out as lesbian teachers. And there's been a few times that I've seen us on the news during certain demonstrations where we were taped, where it would say lesbian high school teacher on the screen, or lesbian preschool teacher. And it's like we're saying, yes, we're lesbian and we're teachers, and isn't that great? And I'm not afraid to say it on TV.
2, 4, 6, 8. How do you know the kids are straight? 2, 4, 6, 8. How do you know the kids are straight? 2, 4, 6, 8. How do you know the kids are straight?
The bottom line on all this is homophobia. All the discomfort, all the talk about teacher autonomy, all the talk about age appropriateness is all homophobia.
UFT, yes you can. Put queers in your lesson plan.
Enjoyed us.
People enjoyed it. They felt it was great that we were out here, and they felt that, in fact, the UFT needed to be pushed on this. So that was very good for us.
spoke to that woman, Mindy, as she came out, and I said to her, so do you feel like this was really detrimental, and do you think that we shouldn't have done this? And she said, no, I think it was really okay, and she had kind of a big grin on her face. And
I think the main issue is that people have to take the leap of faith to do things. And what happens when you're willing to take that leap of faith is magic. And it happens almost every time. I've done direct action in various forms for about 5 or 6 years now, and I have yet to participate in an action that I thought was a total failure. I think people getting together to do things, the group dynamic of working things out together basically makes good decisions come about, and then when you do it, it works, and far better than anyone ever imagines beforehand.
Boycott Colorado! Boycott Colorado! Boycott Colorado!
Because I used to work at Condé Nast, which publishes Self. I mean, I had this whole history of, you know, sort of being intimidated by the place, and so the idea of going in there sort of in a disguise and like invading this property that I had, you know, worked at for so many years was really scary to me. And for about 2 weeks before the action, I had nightmares about it. And I would imagine all these, what I thought was typical Condé Nast women chasing me down these long hallways and capturing me.
No profit for hate! No profit for hate! No profit for hate! No profit for hate! No profit for hate!
I sort of evaluate things based on how much courage they take. So somehow, you know, that's the proportional thing. The more courage it takes to do the thing, the more fun I have when it's over and I actually manage to do it. And that was really scary. I mean, the whole idea of going to an office building where everybody's incredibly quiet, you know, with walls that are built to absorb sound, and screaming your head off and running up and down the hall was just really ridiculous.
You got no courage, people! You got no guts! Where's your self-respect? Where's your self-respect? Where's your self-respect?
You gotta be ashamed of yourselves.
That's right!
Why are you going to Colorado?
How do you think all your gay employees feel about you going to Colorado, huh? You have a few of them, I'm sure.
More than a few. So I will say that I have fond memories of the Self magazine action because so much was accomplished by so few, and because it was so much fun to scare Alexandra Penny to death, the editor of the magazine. And my only regret is that we hadn't realized and remembered beforehand that she is the author of the book How to Make Love to a Man, because we could have had a whole lot of fun with that.
Come on in.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with this. This is our publisher, so if you'd like to talk with him, he's in his office.
Where?
But what is your name?
My name is Ann Northrup.
My name is Alexandra.
Okay, I'd like, hi, nice to meet you. I'd just like not to come in alone.
Please don't have any cameras in our
All right, but I'll
offices.
come in with the camera.
I can't.
This has been discussed on a reasonable basis, and we have hit a stone wall. Because we're letting you know that we're not going to sit quietly and go away and say, oh, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine with us. People can get beaten up and killed every day, and you go out there and, oh, fine, I guess we'll just have to worry about next year. This is not a next year issue. And if an amendment had been passed that legalized discrimination on the basis of race, I don't think you'd be going to Colorado. Or the basis of gender, you would not be going to Colorado.
P-O-Y-C-O-T-T. Aspen's not the place to be. Shame! 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 Shame!
We just kind of expected to go there and like be pains in the ass for a while and like kind of make them like, no, we're not happy about this and we wish it would stop. And they didn't just kind of like go, okay, well, we've heard you and now we're going to continue doing it anyway. They pulled out completely. And that was pretty astounding. I was pretty amazed by that.
You throw that little pebble into the pond,
Yeah,
and the ripples just... Beautiful metaphor. Shut up.
We're looking at metaphors too.
I think that lesbians have always taken care of everyone else except ourselves. And I think that this is the time. We have got to start saying that we are as valuable as everyone else. Not more valuable, not less valuable, as valuable. And yet we need to get a hold of the fact that our lives are not fine. You know, that if we do not do this for ourselves, no one else will.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily always productive to say, oh, forget everyone else, let's just do our own thing. This is the first, I mean, it seems like most of the women I've spoken to, this is the first time, and women who've been extremely politically active around a lot of things, that we've said, now it's time for us to get together and do lesbian-oriented work. And surprise, surprise, it also happens to be work that affects other people.
And I think that so far, we've been somewhat reactive, you know, to events that occur. You know, something happens and we react to it, the multicultural curriculum, or, you know, the Oregon and Colorado initiatives, you know, so we sort of react to that. And those issues haven't really been necessarily specifically lesbian issues.
Anything can be a lesbian issue in a certain way for us. I mean, we've been able to define that very broadly or very narrowly. We know one when we see one, basically.
Oh, God.
Can I go up and ring the doorbell? Everyone come over here.
Come on. What about
Why
no
don't you go
sound?
home?
You know?
Well, let's start with the pace, and I don't hand you that.
Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go straight to my lover's heart for me. Nobody but me. Cupid, please hear my cry and let your arrow fly straight to my lover's heart for me.
So we crushed 9 little vials of stink, that one of which smells really bad in a stiff wind outside. We crushed 9 of these in the elevator that goes up to his office, and then we plastered 2 huge homophobia stickers that also have the Lesbian Avengers logo on. And we got out the elevator and quickly went away. And our idea being that the people who were going in and out from lunch would get on the elevator, go, what stinks? The door would shut and they would see homophobia stinks. Well, apparently during some of the Algo stuff, during one of the press conferences, right? Was that when it
He was
happened?
interviewed on TV and sort of, wanting to get at those bad gay people, he held up this homophobia stinks sticker in front of the camera and said, this is what they did to me. Of course, we were cheering, Good promo for the Avengers.
We don't just do actions about bad things that happen, but that we do actions about the fact that we're like lesbians and what lesbians are about. Like the Valentine's Day action, wasn't just about people being angry about Valentine's Day. There was no reason to be angry about Valentine's Day. So we kind of celebrating lesbian love, and that was a lot of fun. That was very cool.
Well, you could work up a few reasons to be angry about Valentine's Day.
Can I have a little Mission Impossible music, please?
Maxine. Yeah. Okay, let me just get my other glove.
Oh, I like it.
On behalf of the Lesbian Avengers,
I'd like to welcome you all to the unveiling and installation of our Alice B. Toklas statue, to be placed next to the statue of Gertrude Stein, her lover. We decided to use Valentine's Day, a day when heterosexual love reigns supreme in the United States, to make visible the fact of lesbian existence and lesbian love in all its forms and expressions, including romantic love, cruising, one-night stands, singles, couples, threesomes, butches, femmes, and those of us who no one has bothered to categorize, the writers, the teachers, the secretaries, the housekeepers, the nurses, and the truck drivers, and to make visible the love we have for ourselves and each other when we organize and take direct action together on our own behalf. So, as we unveil the statue and of Alice, to make her visible, to reunite Alice and Gertrude, to announce and celebrate lesbian love, the Avengers.
Like every other 20th century poet, I'm utterly influenced by Gertrude Stein and Alice. I always put my pussy in the middle of trees, like a waterfall, like a doorway to God, like a flock of birds. I always put my lover's cunt on the crest of a wave, like a flag that I can pledge my allegiance to. This is my country, here, when we're alone in public. My lover's pussy is a badge, is a nightstick, is a helmet, is a deer's face, is a handful of flowers, is a waterfall, is a river of blood, is a Bible, is a hurricane, is a soothsayer. My lover's pussy is a battle cry, is a prayer, is lunch, is wealthy, is happy, is on TV, has a sense of humor, has a career, has a cup of coffee, goes to work, meditates, is always alone, knows my face, knows my tongue, knows my hands, is an alarmist, has lousy manners, knows her mind. I always put my pussy in the middle of trees like a waterfall, a piece of jewelry that I wear on my chest like a badge in America so my lover and I can be safe. Thanks.
Do you lift it?
Hi.
Yes, sir. I helped do it.
Did you?
Yes.
Do you lift it?
We cut strangely.
What?
That's it.
Address it. Say to it that we will never repent.
A great many people come together.
Come together?
I don't think this has anything to do with it.
What I believe in is what I mean.
Lifting belly and roses.
Roses. We get a great many roses. Are you there?
Lifting belly.
What do I say?
Pussy, how pretty you are.
That goes pretty quickly, unless you've been there too long.
I told him I would send him Mildred's book.
Pussy, how pretty you are. He seemed very pleased at the prospect.
Pussy, how pretty you are. Lifting belly is so strong.
Lifting belly together. Oh, yes.
Lifting belly. Oh, lifting yes. Belly. Splendid.
Some would understand how I can stay here in bed with you on a day when the sun is bursting wide open and wet in the sky, hollering down to the people, it's your thing, do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. And here we are with a mug of water and the belief that outside will still be outside when we are through loving, sucking, and squishing each other. And if not, it may well be worth the sacrifice for this shapeless, orgasmic moment in time. Those who don't understand have not hugged the rugged bark of trees and heard them answer. They have not heard you when you sleepily say, I'll be here when you get back. After a while, it doesn't matter who understands, because not everyone wants to open themselves at the bottom and let someone look inside. Thanks.
Okay, and now,
When we got to Paris, we were shocked to find an ambulance waiting to drive her to the American hospital. She was not prepared for this, but there was nothing she could do, and she put up with it. The doctor said she was seriously ill and there could be no operation for several days. During this time, Gertrude Stein was quite cheerful and not in any pain. Then, however, the surgeons refused to perform the operation, saying she was not in a fit condition anymore. But amongst the surgeons was one who said, "I have told Miss Stein that I would perform the operation, and you don't give your word of honor to a woman of her character and not keep it, so I shall operate." By this time, Gertrude Stein was in a sad state of indecision and worry. I sat next to her, and she said to me early in the afternoon, "What is the answer?" I was silent. "In that case," she said, "what is the question?" Then the whole afternoon was troubled, confused, and very uncertain, and later in the afternoon they took her away on a wheeled stretcher to the operating room, and I never saw her again.
Okay, and now, First we smoked pot, and then we smoked cigarettes while I watched her make preparations. She turned off the lights and lit candles and stretched out on the floor. And I started thinking about all the times I've been in situations like this one. All the times I've been alone together in a poor apartment with a woman with a past and something that makes it all so stark, like our bones are showing. Everything else fades in importance except this place, this secret place, this motel room, and our certain quiet longings. We start kissing, and I'm lifting her body onto mine. She's gorgeous. Within a few minutes, I could tell from the way it was my hands around her waist and me lifting her, the way she was crawling on top of my legs, climbing on, that she was turning over to me, wanting to give up. That's one thing I know about sex. Not sex with love, but just for the sake of it. Most people want one of two things. Either they want you to submit, or they want to get lost. They let you know which one it is right away. As for me, I don't have a particular sexual taste. I just like the part where they show their desire.
Yes. This is such a hoot. Look, they're fighting. Where?
But I'm already hearing people asking, well, why do you need only a lesbian group? Only a lesbian group, or a lesbian-only group. And I'm starting to get those senses that one of these days now someone's going to use the S word, you know, that we're separatists. And I think that the interesting part about that for me, as someone who's done activism a long time, is that the younger dykes don't even understand that term. So that when I was talking to a younger woman in the Avengers, someone said to her, well, are you a separatist group? And she said, no, what's that? And they said, well, you only organize with lesbians, right? And she said, yeah. And they said, well, isn't that separatist? And she said, what does that mean? So I think that's actually wonderful. I mean, I think it's wonderful that younger lesbians can understand that you can have a reason for organizing all lesbians and not be saying that you're not going to ever talk to a gay man in your life or never do any actions with, you know, the gay community or in fact any other group that you want to do it with.
I mean, I'm one of those people who was every day since I was 16 in everybody else's movement, you know, beginning with the United Farm Workers and then, you know, and going through, I mean, for the long haul, I was always there. It's not like it was sort of a fly-by-night thing, but, and, you know, and then you come home and you don't even know what home looks like because you've never been there before.
I really wanted a girl group.
Right.
I really wanted a group of people to be active with. I just wanted to be able to have a group to, like, do a spontaneous action when something really upset me. And I lacked that. And I also wanted to be able to talk about what was bothering me. I wanted to talk about what it was like to be a lesbian. And I felt like I didn't have that. And sort of like all the social groups and all that stuff, but fundamentally I really needed to deal with what does it mean that I am a lesbian in this culture at this time? What am I doing here? And I also felt like I'm very out, but at the same time I'm constantly coming up against my own homophobia. Right. And this is going to be true until I go. And I feel like the extent to which I can push it and push it and push it, I'm becoming more liberated. So I feel like I'm getting an opportunity to do that.
It's like you're raising the general level of the society, because if people are being enlightened about other issues, whether it's class or race or, you know, the environment, and they still think that lesbians are these freaks who shouldn't be seen in public and whatever, then, you know, what kind of world do we live in?
Maybe they're in the theater. Could be. I don't know. Do you know what they are? Oh, you don't know what they are?
She won't tell you.
That's the question, Mayor. That's the question.
What could they be?
You tell me.
Lesbian Avengers. They're ladies who like to go out into the wilds and into the jungles. I don't know.
A group of guys having a great time, going after, I guess females having a better time.
Good answer. Good answer.
I guess they're lesbians that avenge their lust upon heterosexuals.
Sacred state.
Just before the march started, I turned around and behind me I just saw a sea of lesbians, and it was an incredible sight. And we just set off down the road. It was like going to Oz.
We're moving up quickly, fastly, and in a hurry, so get out our way.
I'm 52 years old. This is the first time I've met a lesbian stand, and I've been a lesbian all my life. Get out here and stand up for everybody. Do it. We're dice. We're out. We're out for power. We're dice. We're out. We're out for power.
I'm Dee DeBerry from Tampa, Florida with Tampa Bay Act Up. I'm a lesbian with HIV. I'm a pissed off dyke, and I want my rights back.
Sheer numbers of dykes that turned out to march from DuPont Circle to the White House and there to the mall said a lot more and meant a lot more than anything I could possibly say. So basically I stood up and just said, "Welcome to the White House," and everybody screamed and shouted.
We take the fire within us. We take it and make it our own. We take the fire within us. We take it and make it our own.
It was an incredible feeling to turn around and look over my shoulder and see the White House, but in front of the White House, see this line of security forces, and then in front of the line of security forces protecting the White House are lesbians who are eating fire.
I haven't been in a march that's been all dykes, ever. Not 20,000. I mean, I can't even think of a march that was less, that was all dykes. Mostly, you know, when we've had marches, they've been women's marches, lesbian and gay marches, not dyke marches. That's what was most different about this, was that it was all dykes, and they loved it. They loved it. It was just the best. I mean, I've been waiting for this to happen for I don't know how many years.
I think our next action we should wear capes, you know? I mean, I really feel like we're the superheroes here.
Try to make the yellow go to the red.
I've even made baby quilts, which is really suspicious, I think.
What are those lesbians doing?
She's groping her.
Here's this one. You like this one?
Yeah.
That one's like way kinetic.
You're gonna get like sunburned faces.
I know, it's
Good.
No, we won't hurt.
I want some.
Where are you gonna be at 70?
I know, right?
Yeah, we get to do our own.
3 more boxes.
Okay. We'll have 1, 2, 3 switch.
Shameless lesbian propaganda right here. Free of charge.
I never knew which way to go. We have one in our front yard.
Lesbian activist propaganda right here. Free of charge.
This is an incredible march. It's an incredible protest. I just want to say one
Shameless
thing.
lesbian propaganda right here, right here, right here, right
Yes,
here,
we
right
protest,
here,
but we never
Lesbian propaganda, free of charge.
We
free of
never
charge,
lose
right.
because we need time to try.
I think in 10 years we will rule. Dykes will rule in this country. Out Dykes. Out and proud Dykes will rule.
Well, there are lesbian Avenger groups starting all over the world at this point, but definitely in the United States of America. So we will do one of the things that we wanted to do, which is to make lesbians visible. In that, it's been very successful, so I think that's significant. And I think it pushes the New York Lesbian Avengers on to bigger things. If we can get 20,000 dykes out, maybe we could get 200,000 dykes out. At least I always think you have to have a vision.
Here we go. That was it, guys. That's Steve's.
This was my roommate, Kevin's room. Young gay man, he lost everything. This was one of the hot spots. This is what's left of the furnishings. The television, my new stereo, and my brand new Papasan chair. I used to make my t-shirts in here too, the AIDS awareness t-shirts that I sell on the side. That's what's left of my collector's hand-carved eagles. Those will never be replaced.
We should wait. Hold up. What was that?
I said you're on private property. Get off. That's what I said.
Just too bad lesbian is against the sin.
Where do you get that idea?
in the Bible from when Moses came down off the mountain.
Stop the violence, stop the hate. 2, 4, 6, 8. Stop the violence, stop the hate.
And proud. I want to thank my friend Steph and my roommate Barb for being here, and each and every one of you.
So don't trust the cops. Call the Avengers.